All right, we're back. Welcome to Rock Talk, where we talk rock.
Episode 4.
Um, four or
Yeah,
five. I don't even remember anymore.
I think it's
Um,
4.
I'm Sean. This is Jake.
And
We're here to talk rock. How are you? What have you been getting up to recently?
great. Watching some football. I had the day off today, so
Nice,
it was great. Just a
nice.
nice chill day.
That's good. Yeah, I also had the day off and played some golf. Um, yeah, that's
Where'd you
good.
play?
My course.
Heck yeah. Did you
Yeah, it
play
was
good?
good. I played all right. It was. I missed a lot of putts, but I hit a lot of good iron shots, so it kind of made up for it.
Take that. They usually don't coincide.
Yeah, yeah, when they do, it's special, but it is very
Yeah,
rare that they do.
like 1% of the time they all work.
Yeah, yeah,
At least that's what it feels like.
very true, very true. Oh man, I've been good. Broncos won, so we'll
Yeah,
we'll, we'll get
needed
into
that
that
one for
later.
sure.
But
You want to publicly thank Jonathan Taylor?
yes, well, I mean, end of the day, it didn't really matter, but in terms of momentum, that was huge.
Because it's really, you never know what would have happened, but
Yeah,
what the Colts would have done that to go up like 10 or 14 or
they would
something.
have gone up 20-7 if he ran that
20,
in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like at
I
that
don't want to
point, it's
say
bad.
that they would have won because that's a little crazy, but I mean, 20-7 is hard to come back for any
For
team.
sure. Yeah. Way harder than 13-7 with the ball.
I
But I
saw a
mean, even
couple.
then, like we went three and out instantly after doing that. So it didn't really do anything for us.
Very true, but what? Say he scores that, you go 3-0 again, and then they have momentum still, and they
Yeah.
go score again. I bet their whole and that could have
Yeah.
been 27-7 at
Yeah.
halftime.
100%. 100%. It
And
was,
Anthony Richardson looked good in the first quarter. I was getting worried a little bit,
I
but
was very worried. We were down. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
yeah, we'll
We'll
get
get
to
there. We'll get there.
that.
Um, all right. Word. Well, let's just
I
start off
was
with the recap, I guess.
all right, all right. Dallas at Carolina.
Yes. You go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
I think that we were a little silly for thinking that the Panthers were going to win, and
I agree.
I definitely said that them being favored for the first time in 2 years should be a sign that that's a bad bet, but we still both loved it. So I think that the
Dallas has just been
Cowboys,
so bad.
I agree, but I guess a little bit the last 2 weeks, at least their defense has been playing really good, their defensive line.
Mhm.
And I think that the Cowboys took that personally, and the fact that the Panthers were favored over them,
Yeah.
they came to play.
Yeah. No, they look good. Cooper Rush is Cooper Rush.
Yeah, no, I mean that was about I would say the max you can get out of Cooper Rush, but it was a great
Yeah.
game
Yeah,
from the
no, it was a good
Cowboys.
game. It was a good
Rico
game.
Dowdle carved.
Yeah,
Um,
Rico Dowdle looked great. But
I was a little surprised. CeeDee Lamb, I don't want to say he's been a bust, but just being the number 2 pick in fantasy football, like you
yeah,
expected quite a bit more this
yeah,
season. And
yeah.
first round of the playoffs, he showed up. So I
hmm
don't. There's no more CeeDee Lamb slander. I think that he was worth every penny you paid in the first round. At least if you got to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's tough.
It's weird
He
because if
hasn't
his
had a
name wasn't
quarterback.
CeeDee Lamb, he's still probably a top 20 fantasy receiver. Obviously, it
Yeah.
hasn't been what you wanted, but he's been getting the job done. And
No, I'm
just
with
shout out
you.
CeeDee Lamb for coming through when it matters most.
Yeah. No, it's been I don't know. Cowboys just need so much help, and I don't know. I saw a quote at the end after the game that said, or maybe it was after last week's game, but it was a Jerry Jones quote, and he said, basically, don't expect the Cowboys to make many moves because money is tight right now."
Well, when you
And
give Dak that much,
yeah, but so you're just gonna accept mediocrity because they weren't good with Dak.
no, I agree. I don't know. I don't know their situation, but I would assume more it's Jerry's towards the end of his life. I'd be willing to bet that like if they had the cap space, he'd probably make it happen. But I bet because of Dak, they can't. I don't know if it's that they don't want to. I think it's more so that maybe they aren't allowed to.
Well, that's the thing. Like you can. you're allowed to go over the limit. You just have to pay the luxury tax.
Yeah, I guess
And
fair enough.
so I don't know. I feel like if he was at that point where he's like nearing the end of his life, he's like, we need to be good before I die, that he'd be
Which
just
isn't really an
pouring
argument.
money
He's
into it.
not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think he's like 88, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how old he is. Let me look it up.
He's an old man, but
He is. There's a lot of old men in football, which kind of blows me away.
it's weird because all these guys are so rich, but I it seems like no one really messes with that luxury tax. You know what I mean? It's that there's never I don't know if I can really fault him because I can't think of too many instances where teams just willingly went over it by a landslide. You know what I mean?
Well, you kind of have to time it. Like if you have a good quarterback and you've had to pay him and you're only a few pieces away from Super Bowl contention, that's when you like, okay, I'm dumping money into this. We're going to win a
For
Super
sure,
Bowl and everything will be worth it. The
for
Cowboys
sure.
just aren't in that spot right now.
I just don't even think that they're close to.
No, no.
It's. I think it's a lot of they're not close enough to winning the Super Bowl to garner spending $100 million
Exactly. Yeah.
over the luxury tax.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
exactly right. If they were better, I bet you they'd be pouring more money into it. But right now, they
for
just
sure.
have
Jerry Jones makes dumb decisions, but that would be the dumbest one of his career if he just
mhm,
poured $100 million over the salary cap
into this
into a
roster.
garbage team.
Yeah.
It's also one thing I wanted to touch on is we mentioned it before that just the Cowboys are super connected to Genty. That
Hmm.
everyone for the past couple months has been saying, "Oh, Rico Dowdle might be their best player." Like
Yeah.
I'm going out on a limb, but he's had a month. The past
Yeah.
month, he's their entire offense. I
That's the thing. I feel like they went into the season kind of with that game plan, and it hasn't started working out until very
it
recently.
took forever. It took forever, but I'd argue he's one of the brightest spots on their team. I
I
don't know
agree.
if spending a first round pick on a running back is at all
No,
what they should be doing.
I agree, especially when they have so many other holes
Rico
than they
Dowdle's
have
not
to
a top
fill.
10 guy, but he might be top 15.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't need a top 10 running back to be good. There's
I
so many
saw
running backs that are mid but produce so well because the rest of the team is good.
I saw a tweet the other day talking about it was a stupid Niners fan talking about Genty possibly because Christian McCaffrey's old and washed, and the reply was, "I've never seen a team win the Super Bowl with five awesome running backs. They usually have five awesome linemen. Like,
Yeah, very
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the Cowboys don't need another running back. They
No,
need everything else."
yeah. They need somebody to create holes for those running backs.
Yes, I Rico Dowdle is more than getting the job done.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But yeah, Cowboys they definitely showed up this weekend.
Mhm.
I don't really want to fault the Panthers. I don't think they should have been favored in a football game, but they were.
I mean, they've looked better, at least comparatively to the Cowboys, over the last few weeks. So I get why they were, but yeah,
It's weird. Obviously, hindsight's
Cowboys still have a lot
2020,
of good
but
players.
I feel real dumb for thinking the Panthers were going to win that one.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's still the
Cowboys got a lot of
Panthers.
good players, as bad as they've been.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Panthers don't have very many good players.
There's not
Cowboys
too
do.
many players on the Panthers that would start on the Cowboys,
Very true.
and I
Hubbard
don't think
would,
that
but I
we
don't
thought
know if
about
that's.
that.
Yeah, that's all. That's true.
There's a lot of slot corners and linebackers and DBs that the Panthers just can't keep up
No,
with CD Lamb
absolutely,
and Rico Dowdle.
absolutely.
But we'll
But
move on from that one.
we'll move on. What do you got next?
I got Chiefs Browns.
Chiefs Browns. Yeah. I kind of thought this would be more competitive. Jameis Winston kind of had all the bad parts of a Jameis Winston game and not very many
Yeah,
good parts. I think that's all it really came down to.
I think that name is on the tip of my tongue. Defensive coordinator Chiefs
Spagnuolo. Hmm.
Spagnuolo. I feel like December rolls around and their defense just turns into some different kind of beast. And I don't know. I have them in all kinds of fantasy leagues, and I didn't even think about it this week because I was scared of Jameis Winston. And they had four picks and a fumble, and I don't even think they scored a touchdown, and they got 24 on my bench. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean, they have one of the best defensive players in the league on their team. Um, Chris
and
Jones, and it seems like when
we
he
did
turns it
say
on, everybody else turns it on too.
we did also say a Trent McDuffie touchdown, and we were a little off there, but he did get an
He
interception.
did get a pick, yeah,
One of the four.
yeah. It's Yeah, the Browns just need help at quarterback. Jameis, I don't think is it. He's fun, but he's not it. And
I
Deshaun
agree.
obviously isn't it. Deshaun is that's one of the craziest things like I've ever seen. Like when he was with Houston, he looked incredible.
He
He
was unbelievable.
he looks like Kirk Cousins now, dude. Like he can't move.
That's
And
giving him
I
quite a
know
bit of credit.
obviously there was the big lawsuit and all that stuff. But did he have like a major injury or something like that
Well,
that I'm not aware
obviously
of?
now the Achilles.
Before that,
He
though,
did. I remember. Do you remember when he? I don't know if it was his rookie year. I'm sure it was, but he didn't start week one, and he came onto the scene like week seven, eight, nine. I want to say, and through like the first month of his career, his first four games, he was the fantasy number one quarterback. He was like being talked about for MVP, and he started in like week six. Like it
yeah,
was, who is this guy? Oh my
yeah,
god! And then I don't know if you remember, he one Tuesday or Monday morning at practice tore his ACL at practice, like a month into his first, right after he became a starter. He tore his ACL at practice, ended that first season. But I can't say that that's the major. He was good after that.
yeah.
So,
He came back after that with Houston and was really good. And
but I
he
definitely
just
think that
looks
that's
he looks
forgotten
so
about.
slow, and that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know that. I don't think that he's an option for next year. I don't
no,
know. I think that the Browns might take their 60 or $120 million loss and just say goodbye.
I saw a report that both Stefanski and Watson were going to be back next year. It was on Bleacher Report or something like that, but I did see that report. And
If I
I
was
just
Kevin
don't know, man.
Stefanski, I might just quit and get it over with. He
No,
has
see,
no possibility of success next year.
and Stefanski's a great coach too. He could
I
find a new
agree.
job like that. Didn't he win Coach of the
He
Year last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Like,
Stefanski's amazing.
yeah,
There would be teams knocking on his door if he left. I think that
yeah,
he should just leave.
yeah. I don't know. I think I think that he can at least try to get another quarterback, but
But
Deshaun,
if that's not going to happen, if they're going to strut Deshaun Watson out there, I don't. I would be
yeah.
mulling my options if I was that good at coaching football.
Nobody ever quits though.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird, but I would argue that the Browns are and Deshaun is kind of an unprecedented situation. You know what I mean? If
Very much, very
I
much.
obviously, I'm sure that being a coach is a great. Yeah, you get paid quite a bit of money to do a pretty cool thing, but
They do have Vrabel in the building, which is kind of huge if they do want to fire Stefanski. You'd be like, yeah, okay.
they do, and but it sounds like they don't. I just if
Hmm.
Kevin Stefanski, I feel like if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm sitting here thinking, well, I can't win a football game with Deshaun. I'm just going to get fired after this year. I mean, I'd
What's the
like to think
point?
he's probably financially sound. Why doesn't he
Yeah,
just go test the open market and go be a coordinator for the Eagles? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, obviously, being a head coach is higher, but I think there's the Jaguars need a head coach. There's a lot of teams.
yeah. It's probably something like if you quit, you probably forfeit the rest of the money you're owed, and I'm sure, has a pretty good contract.
Now that you say that, you just said no coach really quits. I guess you can call that retirement because Sean Payton, the
Yeah,
Saints had all his rights. The Broncos
hmm
had to pay an arm and a leg to get him, and
yeah.
he
They had to
wasn't just
trade
free.
for him. That's true.
But
Yeah,
that wasn't more. He didn't want to leave the Saints. He retired.
yeah. He just didn't want to coach anymore
Yeah,
because
but
he could see how bad the Saints were going to be for the
and
next
so
few
does that
years.
like say that Sean Payton had 2 years left on his deal when he did that. If
Mhm.
he waits 2 years, is that contract over? Or if he
Yeah,
waits 10 years, the second he comes back, the Saints still get 2 more years of Sean Payton.
I'm pretty sure that if he waits 2 years, it's over.
It's just over with. He has to wait out the
Almost
time of the.
pretty sure, yeah. Because that was the
Because
whole
I would
thing with the
also think that
Saints is he could either accept like being traded to the Broncos or wait another year and try to get a job next year.
because I almost obviously you want to be a coach sooner rather than later. But if the Broncos kind of had an under the table hey, we're going to hire you next year, but let's keep our first round pick. Who do you want us to take? I like, obviously that's a little crazy, but you guys gave up. I don't want to say a lot because he's awesome, but you gave up a lot, like
It
a
was
first round pick
it was a first round pick that we didn't even own. I'm pretty sure it was the Niners' first round pick. It
from the
was like
Dolphins.
yeah, it was like the 30th pick in the draft, which
We gave them that pick to draft Trey Lance. I think it
mhm.
was, and then they gave it to you for Chubb.
And then we gave it to New Orleans. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
It wasn't an overpay whatsoever. I'm
certainly
just
not,
saying,
dude.
no, no, Sean Payton's amazing.
We beat the Chiefs for the first time with him last year. We're looking he's in year two, has already got us in a great position to make the playoffs.
For sure, for sure.
I would trade 3 first round picks for him at this point.
And not that there's really a way you could have avoided that. It just sucks that you had to give the Saints anything. You know what I mean? If next thing you
Amen.
know, you have that first round pick and it's, I
Hmm.
don't know. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Another piece, but nothing to complain about. And we're
Yeah.
definitely not talking about the Broncos right now.
No. We could just move into Commander Saints since we started talking about the Saints.
Yeah, that'll be a good transition.
Yeah, yeah. That was a crazy game.
That
Um,
was a crazy game. I Spencer Rattler. I don't know what they're doing messing around with Jake Hayner. Spencer Rattler. They need to let him play these last 5 games to see if they need a quarterback because he might be
yeah, he
their
looks
someone.
good.
He's nothing special, but he might be able to get the job done.
No, for sure. He looks good. I do love the call going for two at the end there. You have
Absolutely.
to. Like, what
No
else are
other
you playing
choice.
for?
The one complaint I have is that they ran the exact same play that they scored the
Yes.
touchdown on.
Yeah.
If it
And the
would have
guy
worked,
was
it would
just
have been
double teamed
genius,
the
though.
second time. Like,
Yeah, right. If it would have worked, it would have been genius, but obviously it didn't, and it looked really dumb.
yeah,
But
it was a little weird. Um, but yeah, Commanders looking good for the playoffs now. That was a scary game. I really thought they were going to lose it.
yeah,
I
they
don't
don't
think
scare
they're
me, but
gonna.
they're
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they're gonna really make any noise in the playoffs.
it really is weird. They could totally beat quite a few teams, but I don't know. I think you put them up against any team in the NFC North, they're getting crushed. You put
Mhm.
them up against the Eagles, which is next week. I feel horrible about Terry McLaurin and Jade McDaniels next week. Last time they played, they scored like 9 points, and I
Yeah,
don't know. There's not too many playoff teams that I think the Commanders can beat.
yeah. I think they're definitely a playoff team, but they're not at the caliber as like the Bucks or the
For sure.
Eagles, Lions, obviously, Rams,
I,
even.
I'd like to think that almost the entire NFC West might be favored in a game against them. And the NFC West is kind of bad.
Uh,
It'd be close,
yeah,
I think. If the Saints is only 7.5, I don't know. What's that game in Seattle? I think Seattle's probably favored. So are the Rams.
yeah. I agree. I think Cardinals probably not, but I could see it with the other three teams at home.
I didn't want to say Niners because I think they would beat us, but we would probably be favored.
I think you would too at home, anyways.
But we wouldn't win.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not.
But yeah, Washington, I don't know. They're going to get in. I don't know. Terry McLaurin looked good. Brian Robinson didn't. They just don't scare me.
Yeah, they got a lot of good players. It just feels like they're still a year away.
I love what they're building. This is
Me too,
awesome.
dude. I
But
mean,
they're
they have been one of the most impressive teams this season in terms of just
for Dan Quinn should be up there for Coach of
expectations.
the Year.
Agreed, for sure. Jaden
He
Daniels, I think,
was.
should definitely win Rookie of the Year.
No one wanted him. He was kind of the afterthought, I'd argue, in
Mhm.
this coaching carousel last offseason. And he was the last one taken, I felt like, and he's been awesome.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience. Been to a Super Bowl, even though he choked it, but
That was Kyle. That was Kyle. We won't
it
even
was
blame Dan
Kyle.
for that
Yeah,
one.
okay,
They
fair.
didn't score a point in the second half. Dan's a
Yeah,
defensive guy.
that's true. He is. He is. You're not wrong there.
If they blame Kyle for that one, so I don't know if you can blame both.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right, well, fuck Kyle then.
Yeah, fuck Kyle.
Um, what you got next?
I got Miami at the Texans.
Your Houston Texans.
Yeah,
Your Derek Stingley.
I can't lie. I kind of dissected that game to a
Yeah, no,
T.
you
I
cooked. You cooked.
I liked the Texans. I liked the under, and I liked Derek Stingley, and all of it happened.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I The Texans still aren't that good. The Dolphins on the road, they've never beaten a good team.
mhm.
So I don't know. They're a safe bet to lose
Yeah, just
pretty
all the
frequently.
names they have scare me.
But
Like
Jalen
Tyreek
Waddle
Hill's
goes
awesome.
down
Waddle's,
and
yeah. Waddle going down
OBJ
nice.
gets cut and all of that happens and Tyreek Hill has 2 catches for 40
Yeah.
yards. Like, what are we doing,
Something's
guys?
weird there, man. Yeah. I think maybe Tyreek's just, speed can only carry you
Clocked
so
out.
far. Yeah. Could
I
just be
saw
he's starting to hit that decline,
I think Mike McDaniel's on his way out. I think
you
and I
think?
love him, but
Yeah.
the gimmicky stuff, it may be. I don't know. No one else runs that offense, probably for a reason. It doesn't work.
I mean, they're the number one offense in football last year in terms of
And true, but
yards,
what they
but
won 10 games.
yeah, and that is last year. They got the pleasure of rolling into Arrowhead and getting their asses whooped by the Chiefs. So
Yeah,
it's not a winning brand of football. It's exciting and it will win you games, but when you have to go into Kansas City or into Buffalo and play that brand of football, you are going to get pounded every
they
time.
don't have a chance in those games, and I think that the world thought they had a chance because the Texans are a good team, but it's in a dome. It's not going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Dolphins might be able to do something, and it's just they cannot beat a good football team. I
Mm-hmm. No,
I
you're
saw Mike
absolutely right.
McDaniel was they're asking him about a couple of Tua's picks, and he said on 2 of them that it was actually Tyreek's fault. He wasn't in the right position. So it doesn't seem like
Of course it
stuff
was.
is stuff is clicking over there.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Stuff isn't good over there.
Yeah, their best player this season has been like Jonnu Smith.
A Chain's
A
been
Chain's
solid,
been
but
great,
not
but
running.
no, yeah.
He's their best receiver, him and Johnu.
Yeah, because that's like we were saying last week. That's their run game. It's just dump off to A Chain.
I think it'll be a hot topic of discussion this offseason. What team is Tyreek Hill going to play for?
Yeah,
Because I don't know if the Dolphins are going to be that team anymore.
I don't know.
I see Tyreek Hill getting traded for a second round pick. Not that I'm doubting him, but I mean he got a first last time. You know what I mean? With when you got to pay a guy that much money, you can't give away that many picks.
That big of an asset.
I see him going for a second round pick to I don't know,
Minnesota.
Washington, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Not necessarily somewhere bad, but I think he'll be in a new place next year.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. He's just so good. He always has been.
Oh,
And
I would love to have him. I'm
I
sure
don't
you
think
would
I'd let
too.
go of him, especially if you still have Tua. I think if you still have Tua, you got to keep Tyreek and Waddle because they were quite literally a historic offense last season. If you could
For
find even
sure.
a fraction of that, you're going to be in good shape to win a lot of games.
Maybe they'll go the route of just maybe a coach can change the dynamic of that
Hmm.
team, which
Could
it
be.
totally could. I
It
don't
seemed
know.
like though since he's been hired, all the players love McDaniel.
Yeah, no one doesn't like McDaniel.
Yeah,
His calls, it just doesn't seem like they work anymore. And he's
yeah,
like, I saw a thing, he's like 1-10 versus teams over 500,
really.
which is just, I don't know. And like their
Pretty
one
bad.
win was the Giants the year they made the playoffs.
Gotcha.
It's weird.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm rooting for him. I like Mike McDaniel. I like
Hmm.
Tua, but
Yeah, it could be over for them pretty soon. But hey, you know ball. That's one thing we do know from this game.
it's been established.
You do know ball. All right, what do you got next?
I got Jets at Jags.
Yeah, the sneaky kind of game of the week.
I didn't really watch much of it, but I saw on Red Zone, I saw the highlights and
Yeah,
that was entertaining.
it was. It was very
I,
entertaining. Mac
yeah,
Jones, Aaron Rodgers battling it out. The
that,
number one pick bowl.
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And Devontae Adams, 198 yards in the second half. That,
Zero at halftime, finished with 200.
that was
Crazy.
pretty crazy. I
Yeah.
saw Kirk Rogers being interviewed after the game and his eyes were so dilated, dude. I don't know what he took at halftime, but he said that him and 17 had a conversation at halftime, and He said, when you're close like that, you can have different kinds of conversations. And it was a hard conversation, but that's what the result was.
Good for them.
It made me
God.
chuckle. It took that to beat the Jags. So
Yeah, no, yeah. Glad that can get them 4 wins. It's cool.
yeah, I don't know. I had Jags -3 as my favorite, which Sunday morning I felt a little insane that was my favorite pick. But
You're betting
the
on
last
Mac
second,
Jones.
Brees Hall last second won that for
Mhm.
my -3. So Jets are
Yeah,
lagging.
yeah, they're no, yeah, this win really does hurt their number one pick chances. So I
Yeah,
don't know what they're gonna do at quarterback next year.
Jameis Winston or Sam Darnold.
Yeah, probably bring
Sam
back
Darnold would be
Darnold.
pretty funty.
I bet you.
Gino.
I bet you. Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, just I'm throwing names out there. Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jets are in trouble, and it's so weird because like I feel like they have a such an awesome core of like 8 dudes under 24 or 25 years old that
Yeah.
are so good.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Like I wouldn't love to go coach that team because it's kind of just black magic never works, but like if they were the Jaguars with those players, I feel like that would be a pretty hot destination.
Oh, for sure.
You know what
But
I
I
mean?
mean, I don't know. They are the Jets. I feel like
That's
eventually
what
they
I'm
got to start
saying.
getting rid of those guys because it feels like their roster is just mistimed with they don't have a coach and quarterback is up in the air and I don't know. It's
I
just
saw
feels
Garrett
weird. I feel
Wilson.
like you got to start letting guys go.
Garrett Wilson, I saw, is obviously not happy and might ask for a trade. Some
Hmm.
reporters are reporting, which when that happens, that's Garrett Wilson's agent telling them to tweet that.
Yeah.
It's funny how that stuff works. Brock Purdy, there's Tom Pellisario is reporting that Brock Purdy will not sign for less than $60 million. Do you think Tom Pellisario just had a dream, or did did Brock Purdy's agent give him a call?
Sources. Sources.
Sources, the source is Brock Purdy, and
Yeah.
like I just those are so funny to me.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, I guess
Speaking
go
of,
ahead.
I just wanted to. Did you see the body that Adam Schefter caught tonight?
I don't think so.
Rest in peace, Doug Gottlieb. I go if you can pull up Twitter right now. Adam Schefter was the man of the night.
Okay.
He, I don't know if you saw Michael Vick. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's the head
Yeah.
coach of Sacramento State.
Yes, getting the Sac State job.
Yeah.
Trying to find it real quick. I think he might have deleted it. There's screenshots everywhere. Big Cat posted about it.
After.
Oh, here it is. All right. So Adam Schefter reported the Mike Vick news, right? And he said that. Are you reading it now?
Adam Schefter has killed Jug Gottlieb.
For the viewers, Doug Gottlieb did not believe that Sac State had $50 million of NIL. And Adam Schefter reassured him that they did, and also told him, Jesus, Doug, a 7-game losing streak in last place in the Horizon League, less time on social media and more time in the gym, as Doug Gottlieb is the head coach of Green Bay. And they are not doing too well. But
Doug Gottlieb is the head coach of Green Bay.
that also, I recognize that name too. And he has his own talk show and
Yeah.
he's the head coach. So I found that a
Weird.
little
Yeah, I only know him as like a talking head kind of guy or like a Twitter personality.
But the weird thing is he still does that simultaneously. And there's not too many people, I guess no one at the highest levels do that, but he's probably in Division II for a reason. But
yeah. That's funny. Go Schefter.
Yeah,
Love Schefter.
It was cracking me up. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I'll always be Team Schefter. He started off as a Broncos reporter.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah,
damn, that's crazy. When he was like young or just like
yeah.
his first, that's
A
cool.
while ago, I know he
I'm
was a
pretty
Broncos
sure
reporter.
I don't know how old he was because I don't know how early in like his life he started, but I know that Skip Bayless spent the formative years of his journalism career as a Bay Area
Yeah.
reporter. My grandpa tells me all the time how he liked Skip Bayless and then he went national and became someone completely different. He doesn't like him.
Right on. What do we got next?
Baltimore at the Giants.
Yeah, this game went kind of as expected.
Yeah, but not how I thought it would happen. I thought that I don't know. There was just a lot more passing by the Ravens. I thought they were just going to Derrick Henry him to death, and Derrick Henry sucked. So
Giants have a good D line. I feel like the way to beat them is
yeah,
probably through the air. Um,
no, yeah.
they have a lot of good players, but really tough to match up with Baltimore.
Rashad Bateman went crazy. I really had a little bit of higher hopes for the Ravens defense. That's kind of obviously fantasy isn't everything. They only gave up 14 points, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm that's going to come back to bite them. They don't have a great defense. I don't
No,
think. I
yeah, they don't have very good defense, and they have terrible special teams, and
mhm.
that alone, I think they might even be a first round exit in the playoffs
Yeah,
this year, which
I
I
don't
hate
trust them.
saying because I do really like Lamar and I root for Lamar, but
I do
it's
too.
just
Derrick Henry's one of my favorite players.
dude, yeah, if anybody I think deserves a ring more than like I don't know if there's anybody that deserves one more than Derrick Henry
Derrick Henry and
and
yeah,
Saquon.
Trent Williams. I'll throw Trent out there. He's been
Yeah,
playing for a long time and
yeah,
he's been in a couple
he's been
bowls, but
there.
I'm
Yeah,
biased. So
no, sure. Yeah, just men versus boys. That's all this game
yeah,
was. So.
the Ravens scare me. Their playoff hopes. I think that any team in the AFC playoff picture other than the Texans can beat them.
Yeah.
The Texans, I think the Texans are going to lose no matter who they play in the first
Yeah,
round.
I agree. I agree.
It'll
They'll
be
look
at
very
home,
good.
which is a little bit of a more like they'll have a chance, I guess. Maybe I'll talk myself out of it on game day, but
Yeah, they just look rough. If they
they don't
right
impress me.
matchup though, they play someone with a bad run defense. Joe Mixon's gonna go crazy.
True, true. He had a real bad week. We thought that he was going
Mhm.
to go off. He got kind of banged up a little, I think, too,
I
but
think so.
that was just a lame game.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
But yeah, there's not too much to talk about with Baltimore Giants, I don't think.
mm,
Tim Boyle, I did see Tim Boyle is I don't know how he does what he does. You know how there's like these college quarterbacks who throw 150 touchdowns in college and never even see a snap in the NFL just
dude,
because they don't do that.
I think I saw the stat you're about to give me.
Tim Boyle at UConn played
Yeah,
24 football games. He threw one touchdown and had 14 picks.
yeah,
And he's had a 6-year career in the NFL as a backup.
yeah.
Sean, I think that I could throw one touchdown and 14 picks.
No, I don't think you could.
I don't think I could either, but that is just there is so
No,
many.
it's crazy.
What did he do to get in this? I am so jealous.
Yeah, and it's not like he went to like Alabama or Ohio State. He went to UConn
and he
and was
didn't do anything.
terrible.
He was
No, dude, he
horrible.
was terrible.
I
One touchdown and 14 picks. Yeah.
Tim Boyle, I think, is the just epitome of I don't even know what
He's
I'm looking for here.
failing his way to the top.
I am jealous. I don't know how he did it. It's one of
Yeah.
the coolest things I've ever seen. It feels like just someone who shouldn't be there, and he's been there for quite a while. He's probably
Oh,
made about $20 million
yeah.
sitting on the bench.
He plays like someone who shouldn't be there. That's for sure.
Uh, I completely agree, but I am not hating at all. Go Tim Boyle.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. I
Yeah.
teach me the ways.
Yeah.
I,
Um,
Magic man.
all right. Sweet. So last game of the morning window, I believe, is Bengals Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Um.
go ahead.
the over hits in every Bengals game except when I
Yeah.
took them last week. But
Yeah.
Bengals. I don't know. They can't stop anyone. It was weird because Will Levis made their defense have a good day in fantasy, but their defense is not good. And
Yeah. If there was any player that's going to make him have a good game, it's Will Levis.
I was absolutely wrong on Will Levis 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the Titans scored 27 points.
Yeah. I mean, they looked competent, although it is against the Bengals.
Yeah, very
Uh,
true. I did see. Do you know who Gia Duddy is?
I do.
Gia Duddy was at the game with her friends, and
I,
it's crazy work getting benched in front of your ex girlfriend.
I
But
saw that. Yes. Yes.
prayers up to Will Levis. I hope he comes back strong.
I don't know. You watch him and it seems like he has the traits to be good. Like he's big, he's got a huge arm, seems mobile enough. I don't know. I just see him as being kind of like a Sam Darnold, where in 8 years when he's on his fourth team, he's finally gonna have a good year.
Might have figured it out by then. I think that
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Sam Darnold, when he was younger, he had all of the physical qualities, just
Hmm.
like Will Levis. But Sam Darnold is a smart guy. He was a dumb football player his first
Hmm.
couple of years in the league, and I think Will Levis is a dumbass as a football player right now. And
Will Levis is generationally dumb
yes,
on the
and I
football
hate.
field.
I'm sure that he is a fine gentleman and a
Yeah,
very smart guy,
I'm sure
but
he is too.
he's been making some very dumb calls between the white lines.
Yeah, he just needs more time.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I think he'll be good eventually. Maybe not for
I,
the Titans, but
I was thinking about that today too, though. I feel like in this age more than ever, the leash is so short
oh
with
yeah,
quarterbacks.
yeah.
Trey Lance, I can't even argue we really gave him a chance. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it was so small. It just seems like it doesn't matter where you pick a guy. If they don't do it in a year and a half, they're gone.
Yeah, I agree. It's just it seems like that's been the formula recently with Herbert, Stroud, even Mahomes. Like not his first year in the league, but first year as a starter, he was amazing.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And if you don't get that, you
and
go. You move
exactly.
on.
And if you think about it, like yeah, Trey Lance had a short leash, but it's because they had a rookie
He wasn't great.
quarterback that was outplaying him and was
Yeah.
generally very, very good.
I
And
no, I
immediately
completely
as a
agree.
rookie. You know what I mean? So
It's so weird. Like the Cardinals, they take Josh Rosen number 9, and then the following year, Kyler Murray number 1 after
mhm.
one bad year. And I was watching this. It was like craziest draft day moments video, and everyone knows that Aaron Rodgers, like they thought the Niners were going to pick him at number 1, and then he falls all the way to like 26 or
Mhm.
something. And I'm watching that video, and all the announcers are like, "Well, if the Niners don't pick him here at 1, I don't see a team that needs a quarterback until pick 22 at the Steelers or something like that." And it's like, it just seems like back in the day, like the leash was so much longer for quarterbacks.
It
Like
definitely used to be.
you're
It
telling me there was
feels
20
like.
teams between those picks that just didn't need a quarterback?
Hmm.
Like,
If
have Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers. Like,
yeah, it feels like back in the day, it's like you let him play out his rookie contract basically no matter what.
no matter what. And if it
Yeah,
doesn't work by then you move on. But
yeah,
like nowadays, it's just if he has a bad game, you start talking about it, and it's I don't know. It's just crazy how fast things change.
yeah, man. Even just on a year to year basis,
Yeah, I
just you
if
never know what the league's gonna look like. What it's a copycat league, as they always say. You never know what's gonna work, and whatever works, everybody else is gonna do. And it
yeah,
seems like what's working for teams, at least getting into the playoffs, is you draft a guy, and if he's your guy, you'll know pretty
pretty
immediately.
quick. And if
Yeah.
he's not, you move on and you get another one, and you just
Uh,
admit you failed on that investment. And
I mean, I'm a victim of the whole short leash thing. After 2 games of Bo Nix, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I expected. We need to cut his ass, and
for sure.
now we're about to make the playoffs.
No, yeah, it goes to show. Like, obviously, I think everyone can get better with time, but I think that the leash has never been shorter. If Bo Nix throws 6 picks in the next 2 games, that conversation will come up again.
Hmm.
Bo
For
Nix is
sure.
awesome, but it's just it takes 60 minutes of football to change someone's mind completely, and it's
Yeah.
just insane.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing, man. Eventually it's gonna be
The
like the NBA where it's like there's 10 good coaches, but eight of them get fired every year and then get a new
yeah,
job.
it's just weird to me, man. That Aaron Rodgers draft day gets to me because like the Niners, no one knew Alex Smith or Aaron Rodgers, and when they take Alex Smith, it's just no one needs a quarterback until pick 25.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. And
Yeah.
there weren't 25 quarterbacks that were good enough to be like, I don't know. That's crazy.
I think part of it is I've heard a lot, I think, from Tom Brady and Belichick and kind of guys of that generation where back when like Brady was young and he went to Michigan, developed a bit, got to the league, and had to spend another 2 years developing, figuring out how to run an NFL offense.
Mm-hmm.
And at least I've heard them say that nowadays the offenses are so much more simplified and players don't need to develop as much to perform well in them. And so I think that's part of it where it's like we made this as easy as we can for you. If you can't do it, then see you
Yeah,
later. You know what
I
I
hadn't
mean?
really thought about it like that. Yeah.
Mhm. But
I don't know. It's just weird to me. It seems like if Caleb Williams, like if he was bad next year, I think that the Bears would consider moving off the next year. You know what I mean? Maybe he might be like because he was number one, but it's just there would be conversations, and
yeah,
that's crazy.
no, I'm with you. Yeah, it's just he's in such a tough position, which is weird to say because at the start of the year, pre-draft stuff, you hear that Caleb Williams he's in the best situation that any number one pick has ever been
Has
in,
ever
and
been
now
in.
you look at it, it's like he's in a really shitty situation there.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. We can get on to the next game.
Yeah,
It seems like
yeah,
quarterbacks they
yeah,
playing for their lives out there every Sunday,
yeah,
like
yeah.
playing for their jobs.
So Joe Burrow good, Jamar Chase best in the league.
Yeah, I was very thankful he didn't score a touchdown, and Joe threw four, and one of them was to Sam Hubbard. So
Yeah, that
I
was
was
super
very
cool to see.
happy that
Yeah,
Jamar Chase did not find a way to get in the end zone. I don't know how, but
yeah, yeah. No, that was awesome seeing that Sam Hubbard caught a touchdown.
I also saw that he tore his PCL and he's out for the season. So
I didn't see that. That
that
sucks.
that sucks for
He's
Sam
like
Hubbard.
quite literally one of their only like two good players they have on their defense.
No, yeah, the Bengals were already cooked, but
That sucks.
yeah, I saw
Um,
this picture of going around on Twitter of it was Joe Burrow and Sam Hubbard as freshmen at Ohio State. And Joe's got super long curly hair, backwards hat, and they're just like posing there. It's a cool picture.
cool. Well, you want to go to the afternoon window?
Yeah, New England, Arizona. I am not going to lie to you. I didn't watch a snap.
Nah, I didn't either.
I There was 5 games in the afternoon, and I had the 4 game mix on, and I didn't look at that game once. I looked at it
Yeah,
on my phone a little bit.
yeah.
I know that James Conner did James Conner things, kind of like we said he would.
Yeah. I didn't watch it either. The other four games were way better slash more important games, so
Yeah,
one had to go, and this just had to be the one, I think.
sad to see, but
Uh,
apparently James Conner put on a clinic.
yeah, from what I've heard, I've seen some highlights. Yeah, he's so good. It seems like the argument that running back isn't valuable because everybody is bad so quickly is just getting invalidated this year by just so many guys.
And I
And he's,
agree. I think what we've kind of figured out is that a running back is of value if you're a good football team.
yeah,
Like Derrick Henry and Saquon are badass. They look like smash transactions. If Saquon Barkley was on the Giants or the Jaguars, no one would talk
no
about
one
him,
would
and he would
talk.
be the
Yeah,
15th best running back in the league right
yeah,
now.
no, it's true.
Like, if you're a good football team, it's worth it to pay for
Yeah,
a badass running back. But if you're a bad football team, it doesn't work.
yeah. There's not very many, if any, running backs that can make a bad team a good team. But if you have a
No.
good team and you have a good running back, then that really enhances your team.
Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, they're just the cherry on top of a good football team. If you
Exactly.
put either of them on the Panthers or Giants, we've seen it. They don't translate. They don't win you football games. They win you football games when everyone around you is badass.
Yeah, definitely.
When they got to worry about other people, when you're playing the Giants and Saquon Barkley, you put 8 people in the box and you beg Daniel Jones to throw the football.
Yeah.
But
yeah, 100%. I think Connor's one of those guys too. He's just been doing it
sure.
for so long, and
for sure.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Connor's awesome, and they put DeMarcado on IR last week, and Trey Benson sprained his ankle, so James Conner might get 40 touches.
Just the
week.
Connor show.
Yeah, they play the Panthers. They play the Panthers, and they are 32nd against the run.
Wow.
James Conner might be RB1 rest of the season.
No, I could see it. Yeah. I could see it. He's good. But yeah, one had to go. So
there's not much to talk about with the Patriots. Drake May had a really cool hip toss touchdown. I saw a highlight of that.
Yeah, like almost over the line.
I'd argue it was a little Mahomey.
Oh, dude. Don't even start talking about Mahomey right now.
Speaking of Mahomey, we're not there yet. Did you see that Josh Allen touchdown that didn't count? He threw a chest pass, two-handed chest pass to a wide open Dalton Kincaid, and there was offensive holding.
I don't think I saw that. No,
it was like a 10-yard touchdown. It was like 3rd and goal from the 10. And he's like scrambling, gets to the line, like right last second he could throw it. And he just goes like that. Just chest pass right to Kincaid. It was hilarious. But
that is Mahomey.
Very Mahomey.
Very Mahomey. Yeah.
There was Patrick Mahomes was everywhere this weekend, but on the Chiefs field. We didn't even talk about that. Patrick Mahomes got hurt.
I don't even give a shit anymore. Like, he's just going to come back and he's going to be good. Like, it's not going to affect anything.
Yeah.
It never does. He gets hurt week 15 every single year, and you think he's going to be out for the year, and then he just comes back and is just better than he was before.
Yeah, probably. He's probably just going to be insane now. But what if Carson Wentz as a backup went and won the Super Bowl?
Chiefs to
What if?
That would be poetic. That's what.
That would be the greatest story ever.
Oh yeah, that would be poetic.
And I can't put it past Andy Reid and the Black Magic. I don't think they're good with Patrick Mahomes. They might be able to just make it work. I don't know.
I don't know. If it was Nick Foles in there, I'm with you.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, also, Nick Chubb broke his foot, but I just felt like we had to include those.
Yeah. Cool.
But Colts Broncos. Go off.
Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your record with the big hat?
1-0, baby.
I think you need to wear it the rest of the season. How about them donkeys?
I was utterly terrified for 3/4 of this game. It felt like the Broncos of the last 9 years, where every time we have an important moment, we fail. Every single time. And I don't know, man. I love Sean Payton. I love Bo Nix. It just feels like we're not that team anymore, which is just like such a relief.
I envy.
I'm no longer just immediately counting us out every time it's crunch time, which I used to be able to do, and I would be right every single time.
But now you trust your coach?
Trust my coach. Love my quarterback.
It's really nice when you as a fan, and obviously we're never right. Obviously, most coaches know more than us, but it's real nice when you know your coach is going to call a timeout when he needs to. And you more than most, I'm sure that you can agree, but there's a couple coaches where you don't even have to think about stuff like that. But I'm sure Jets fans every weekend are just screaming, call a timeout, call a timeout, call a timeout.
Bears fans, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many teams that can't get that right.
Oh, it's just incredible. I haven't felt
Yeah,
good about my football team, and
it's something that good football teams take for granted, I think.
yes, 100%,
That clock
100%.
management, it's not even, it is just ingrained in their heads. It's like blackjack basic strategy,
Yeah,
but they just know the right answer at all times.
yeah, and I want to say most of the time it's not hard, but it's not hard when you're sitting on your couch
For
watching.
sure. For sure. But they make the right calls, and
No, dude, yeah, I just
it's
man,
hard to do, and they do it really well. Some of
like I
those
said
five
earlier, I
coaches.
would I would trade 3 first-round picks for Sean Payton right now. Oh,
There's not, I think he's in that S tier of coaches, and there's only about five of them in there.
I agree. Just because like we don't have a good team. Like we were
I
like on
The
paper,
defense.
even the defense on paper, we're not good. Like we just have so many guys that just make plays every week, and
Fair enough. You're kind of, it's weird. Beginning of the season on paper, definitely not. But now all of a sudden, your guys' team on paper looks a little
yeah,
scary.
now it's
These
like
these
Brandon
guys who
Jones. It's
Nick Bonito, who
Nick
is that?
Bonito. Yeah,
Now now that's a scary name to read.
he was our second-round pick 2 or 3 years ago out of Oklahoma, and I was just like, I was, I thought to myself, why the hell would you draft an Oklahoma defensive player? Like offense all day long. Marvin Mims went to Oklahoma. Like he's been a stud. Defense, they've never had a good defense. They
They
never
get
will have a
cooked.
good defense. And he's I think he should be talked about more for defensive player of the year.
As an outsider, not knowing like the Broncos, like a Broncos fan would, the Broncos games that I see, especially when they're on like prime time or when they're on the bottom right corner of my screen, it's number 15. I'm pretty sure it's Nick Bonito. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I can name three players on the Broncos defense, but I know him for some reason because every time it's important, it seems like he's making a big play.
Yeah. He's second in the league in sacks. He has 2 huge pick sixes in the last 2 games.
And
As
I
like
can
an
remember
edge
both of them, and
rusher.
I'm not a Broncos fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
He's so good. He's really come into his own.
It seems like
Sertan
he's
did
one of
go
those
down
guys.
in the last game,
Yeah,
which very much worries me because without him, he's hurt and Riley Moss is hurt. We have fucking nobody to play corner. Our safeties are pretty good, but
yeah.
we play the Chargers on Thursday, short turnaround. I think we could get throttled if we don't have anybody to play
They just
corner.
got spanked too.
Yeah.
They're going to be pissed.
Yeah. That's a
I'd be a
huge
little
game
worried.
too. If we win that game, we basically lock up the
You're
six.
in.
We're in if we win, but I think we basically lock up the 6 seed, and we wouldn't have to play Buffalo in the first round, which is the only thing I want to avoid is seeing the Bills at all in the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be a blessing.
hmm But
I
yeah, Broncos good, Colts bad. 21 third quarter score or fourth quarter score was 21-0. Went into
Wow.
it down. What would that be? Down 3 going into the fourth quarter, ended up winning by 18. Just
I will
playmakers,
say
man.
that in a couple of years, we might be able to look back at this game and say that Jonathan Taylor created a monster.
Yeah, in the Denver
I
Broncos.
inadvertently.
Yeah,
I don't want to say they would have won, but momentum. The Broncos had a 3-and-out right after that momentum shift. If that would have been a touchdown, the Broncos might have turned it over again.
I think so
And
too.
that game could have gotten out of hand so fast, and
No,
Jonathan
man,
Taylor might have just set something in motion.
I was just, I was in shambles watching that game. I'd watch some of it at work, like the first half, and I was just so upset, man.
I was rooting for you, dude. That first half, Anthony Richardson looked like a monster. You guys
Yeah,
could not. I don't even want to say couldn't tackle him. It just seemed like every time he left the pocket, it was 12
we
yards.
couldn't
And
stop anybody. Yeah,
I
I think I saw at halftime both the Broncos and the Colts had around like 50 pass yards, and then we had like 30 rush yards. I think the Colts had like 150. Like they were just running it
Wow.
down our throats the entire game. Like we didn't deserve to win that game, let alone blow them out. Like, but we did.
The
So
defense really showed up, and Jonathan
mhm.
Taylor, that I remember I watched that live. I saw that run 15, 20 yards into the run. Oh my goodness, Jonathan Taylor's gone. And I started looking at the next screen. Only like 5 minutes later, like, wait, didn't the Colts just score a touchdown? Like I
Yeah,
didn't
like
see
why
the
don't they have
challenge. I didn't see the
27?
replays. I was like, what? I saw
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor score. And I went and looked on my phone and was like, what?
Ugh.
And because when there's plays like that too, the way they word it, it's like Jonathan Taylor, 40-yard rush, fumbles at the 1 yard. Like they
Yeah.
word it so it's so word salad that you don't
Clickbaity.
even know what
Yeah.
happened. I looked up the play on Twitter and I was like,
Yeah.
no way.
No, it was a huge game, man. Biggest game, like I've said, biggest Broncos game. Biggest game in Denver since probably the 2016 AFC Championship.
Yeah, and I want to shout you out. Obviously, I know that you know the Broncos, but you said both things that uh, the two guys that I get quite a bit of information from. Adam Schefter, he tweeted out Sunday morning, this is widely viewed as the Broncos' biggest game since the 2013 AFC Championship, yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada. I was like, I heard that on Tuesday. And then I watched the Bussin' with the Boys. They had John Gruden on. They were talking about their picks for the weekend. And John Gruden goes, yeah, I like the Broncos, but I am just really scared. Riley Moss, if he's not there and they got that Levi something out there, it's going to be a long day. And we talked about Levi Wallace for 15 minutes.
Oh
So
yeah, he is barbecue
I,
chicken, man.
I wasn't surprised. Obviously, Gruden knows every player that's ever touched a football ever.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my, like
Yeah.
what? He knows that about every team. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's a true full-time job. You only do
for
that if you
sure.
have
Like
like a
I didn't know
team.
that kind of thing. And you're a
Yeah.
Broncos fan. That's important. Like
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I can't even imagine what Gruden knows about the Jaguars. Like
Yeah. Well, cool.
game of
So
the
yeah,
week, game
game
of
of
the
the
year.
week. I don't know. We had a game of the year last week. And a game of the
Yeah,
year the week before that with the Broncos and Browns. We've had a lot of game of the years these last few weeks.
they just keep getting better, Sean. I
Yeah,
don't
dude,
know. I
no,
don't
I
know what to
know.
tell you. But
Bills 48, Lions 42. Uh I want to
I will
applaud you
victory
here.
lap that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, here we go. I want to applaud you here for saying that there's a world where this game ends 47-42. Missed it by 1 point on the total. It was
Yeah, I
well done. Well
if
done.
only Tyler Bass would have missed. I
Yeah, I guess.
That was
Um
crazy, and I loved the Bills +2. Their offense was back full strength for the first time. Coleman showed out. Kincaid showed out.
no man, they
The
look
part
like the
that
best team in the league.
they do, and the part that people are talking about it now, but I feel like we were kind of talking about it before. Sean, me and you know like two people that play defense for the Detroit Lions. The other
Mhm.
nine got signed last week. I It is rough out there for the
Mhm.
Detroit Lions on defense. I don't think that they can stop anyone anymore.
No, I don't think so either. And
I
Montgomery, I saw just got announced out for the season. And
Which that
dude,
makes me so
they have
sad.
so many injuries.
I I don't even know
I
what to
might
do. Like
see. I'm gonna see how much I can cash out my Lions Super Bowl future for right now this second because I don't
I
think they're
want
gonna.
them to. I feel so bad for them. I
No,
don't
if
think
they were
they can
fully
stop a
healthy, I
nosebleed.
think they should still be favorites. I think they probably beat the Bills if they're fully healthy, but they're just
I do
not.
too. I don't know. I Pretty funny though that Jared Goff wins a game with 5 picks and loses a game with 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest stats I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Oh
only the
man.
Texans.
$30 bet I could cash it out for 49. Last week I could cash it out for like 100.
No way.
Yeah.
That one seed is in a lot more jeopardy after the Vikings won tonight, and
No
they play
Monty.
Week 18 in Minnesota. Yeah,
Oh man.
The Lions
I'm gonna
don't get
let it
to rest
ride.
anyone. Yeah, you got to let it
I'm
ride.
gonna let it
But
ride.
I I just feel for the Lions. I feel like this is the beginning of the end. I don't know
I
that.
agree. The injuries are really, really stacking up.
It's gonna really piss me off when the Niners beat them in 2 weeks when it doesn't matter whatsoever, and it just
Yeah.
ruins our draft pick even
They're
more. We're
playing
probably gonna,
hard for the 1 seed. You guys
yeah,
are
for
just,
sure.
yeah, spoiling your draft pick.
We're gonna go out there and beat the Lions just because I don't want us to. It's gonna make me even more mad, but
Yeah, very
I
true.
don't actually think that's gonna happen. It just feels like a Niner thing to do this year.
It sure does. It sure does.
We're not better than them by any means. I just that defense, it's up there with Bengals defense right now and the Jags
Hmm.
defense for who can
Hmm.
get torched the most week in and week out.
Yeah, they just have to win in shootouts, and
And they can,
yeah, they can, but I feel like there's not a lot of shootouts in playoff games a lot of the time. So
for sure, for sure. And to win in five shootouts and win the Super Bowl would be a
that'd be
miracle, I think. But
insane. Yeah, yeah.
I do think that Jahmyr Gibbs might be the most valuable player in fantasy football for the rest of the season,
I
though.
think you're right. I think you're absolutely
I
right.
might take him over Josh Allen. I think Jahmyr Gibbs with 25 touches a game is going to be something special.
Oh yeah, no, you're
I,
absolutely right about that.
he's at least top three. He's definitely RB1. I think rest of season. But we were asking for it. I just wanted Monty to go to a wedding. I didn't want him to tear his MCL, but he didn't
My
listen.
my running backs next week for round two of the fantasy playoffs. Jahmyr Gibbs projected for 26.9 and Bijan Robinson projected for 27.6.
In Brad's league, I have Jameer, Bijan, and then I'm deciding between A Chain or Bucky as my flex.
That's insane.
I know, dude. I'm sure I'm going to start the wrong one,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, I think
Ugh.
Jameer Gibbs is going to win a lot of fantasy championships.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win most of them.
But yeah, I feel like we should talk about this game a little bit longer because it was so good.
It was a great game. Yeah. What else do you have to
I
say?
think the Lions are just cooked. I don't cook's a stretch, but I think that any team could put up 30 against them, any NFL football team. And they can beat any team with their offense, but I don't know. It just makes me a little sad for them. I feel like Detroit finally got their football team and it just
Yeah,
got
dude,
taken away
it
from them.
really, really felt like this was their year, but
I
I don't think it is anymore.
I don't either. I still don't. I'm not gonna. The Vikings. I like the Vikings, but I think they
I
could beat
love
the
the
Eagles. I think they could
Vikings.
beat the Vikings too, but I also think they could lose to both.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, Goff has been to a Super Bowl. Like he has experience, kind of in
For
the
sure, but
playoffs,
what
making
that
runs.
was like the worst Super Bowl performance ever, and he's
Hmm.
probably got some vengeance in his heart.
Hmm. Well, I feel like yeah. Um,
That was 13-3, right? The lowest scoring Super Bowl ever.
was it 13-3 or was it like 10-3?
It might have even been. Let me look it up. Rams, Patriots, Super Bowl 13-3. What a garbage game.
Yeah, yeah.
We can go on to Tampa Chargers.
Let's do that. I
We were
kind
wrong.
of yeah, we were quite wrong here.
I think
Uh,
that we both liked Chargers in a blowout.
yeah, I don't know if I liked them in a blowout, but I thought their defense would look way better than they did. They got torched.
I really liked them, honestly. They were at home. Their defense has been awesome.
Yeah.
Baker had to travel across the country. There's just something about playing with a chip on your shoulder. I don't know. No one thought that they were going to win that game, and that's when
Hmm.
Baker Mayfield is the
Yeah.
absolute best version of
No,
Baker Mayfield.
they just got they just outclassed the Chargers.
Mike
That's all it
Evans,
was. I love seeing that.
yeah,
I think we jumped a spot in the playoffs because of that and uh playing on
I'd be
Thursday.
worried
So
about I'd be worried about Thursday, but I mean, you obviously just saw that they can be beat.
oh yeah, for sure. I think Herbert got shaken up too, and they don't have Dobbins anymore. I think they're more beatable now than they have been all season. Obviously, they just got killed, but
I feel a little childish saying this right now, but we both had the Chargers as our dark horse Super Bowl. I'm going to pivot. I I think the NFC might be weak enough that Baker Mayfield might do something special.
I will agree with you there.
And I
I've
think he
always
could beat
liked
the
Baker,
Eagles.
man.
He's already beat the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I That was their only loss before this weekend was
No,
Baker in
yeah,
Detroit.
yeah. No, it feels like they're really peaking at the right time. Bucky Irving is like unbelievably good. Mike Evans
Mike
had a
Evans,
career game.
Jalen
Jalen
McMillan
McMillan.
out of nowhere.
They don't even have Godwin, and they're
No,
just. And Godwin was
I
like the best receiver in the league through 4 weeks before he got hurt, however long it was.
I'm gonna look up odds real quick because I'm not saying I want to bet on it because I think it's going to happen, but I think that we might be able to sneak
Dude, you
some value
could
here.
throw something on it and then cash out after they win one playoff game. Probably make a shitload of money.
Probably, and let me look up FanDuel Super Bowl odds. I feel like they got to be pretty low, right?
Yeah, I mean they're probably the what fourth favorite in the NFC, maybe third, probably
They
fourth,
in the NFC
maybe even fifth.
they're the fifth,
Yeah, behind
and
the
they're tied with the Rams
okay, so they're behind the Eagles, Lions, Vikings,
and the
Packers.
Packers.
Hmm.
The Bucks are plus 3,300.
Wow.
I kind of like it, dude.
Same with the Rams.
Rams are plus 3,350.
Wow.
So pretty much the same.
I don't hate either of those, man. I love the
Yeah,
Rams.
I'm a little like I don't like dislike the Rams like I dislike the Seahawks, but
Hmm.
the Rams are definitely good. The Bucks just kind of have a little bit more of a
I love they
special
have
it
juice,
factor for
man.
me. Yeah,
Yeah. It's just Todd Bowles. I just have such a hard time getting excited about Todd Bowles.
I agree with that. And Sean McVay is absolutely the better coach. But
Mhm.
I love Baker on the road with a chip on
Oh,
his shoulder. I feel like
yeah.
the Rams on the road is a little scary.
Yeah.
I don't see them going into Philly or into Detroit, and
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe
No, I love Baker. Love him.
I do too. He's fun to watch. I'm happy that he's kicking ass.
Me too.
Let's go to Pittsburgh,
Um,
Philly.
Steagles.
I don't know what
S-
it is. They can't
this
win.
this game didn't exactly go how I thought it would, but Eagles still won, so I'll take credit for that. We
Yeah,
disagreed on this one, I think, didn't we?
we did. I like the Steelers. I
Hmm.
George Pickens wasn't there, and Russell Wilson is not that good without George Pickens,
Hmm.
evidently throwing the football.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Russ loves those jump balls.
when the Eagles can just stack the box without George Pickens, I think it becomes a pretty hard game to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Russ can only do so much. I mean, he has kind of had a little bit of a resurgence in Pittsburgh, but he's never going to be Seattle Russ where he can just do everything for you.
No, like MVP, right? He's
Yeah.
never gotten a vote.
He's
But
never gotten a vote, actually. Yeah.
he was he should have.
Should have. Yeah. I agree. He was a
I
beast.
saw a couple tweets about this, but did you see the possession log for the second half in this game? Unbelievable. There were 5 total possessions in the second half, like by both teams. The
Crazy.
Steelers had 2 possessions and the Eagles had 3.
I saw that they got the ball with like 11 minutes left in the game and then never gave it back and just ran the clock out the entire game.
Let me read you this second half. Third quarter, Eagles 13 plays, 47 yards, 7 minutes of possession, ended in a field goal. Steelers 4 plays, 38 yards, fumble, 2 minutes of possession. Eagles 13 plays, 74 yards, 7 minutes, touchdown, end of the quarter. Steelers 7 plays, 24 yards, 3 minutes. And then Eagles 21 plays, 88 yards, 11 minutes, end of game.
Wow, man.
I was watching that game pretty intently because you picked that under.
Mhm.
And the Eagles were driving down the field, driving down the field, driving down the field. And I was like, I just need a field goal for
Yeah.
that push. Maybe AJ Brown will sneak in the end zone. They get to like the 4-yard line
This game over.
and take 3 knees. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, man, that's kind of what we were talking about last time about Barkley just taking a lot of the pressure off of Hurts. And like when you have a good running game, you can control a game like that.
And it was weird though because he got hurt. Did you see that? Saquon, I don't know, I think it was ankle or something. He didn't play in the second quarter. Kenneth Gainwell got like 9 carries in the second quarter. And then I thought that Saquon wasn't going to come back. Coming out of halftime, he was right there and they demolish him.
Huh.
But
I didn't get
late in the first half, that second quarter was kind of all Steelers because the Eagles just had a couple punts and Saquon wasn't on the field.
That's pretty crazy.
It was a little precautionary, I think. They were just trying to make sure he was okay.
I didn't watch like any of that, honestly. I was just watching the Broncos in the afternoon.
He just did not really have he had 19 carries for 65 yards and he didn't score.
Huh.
They got like 11 fantasy points. I couldn't believe it.
Wow. And they just, wow. Yeah, no, Eagles look really good.
He was there in the second half to go run the ball out and win the game. But
yeah. No, I mean,
the Eagles,
it's just, it's like you were saying earlier, guy of his caliber just enhances an already great team. And I think that might push them to have what they need to win the Super Bowl. They're definitely well within their window.
Game,
yeah.
But if he was on the Giants, he can't.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because if he's on the Giants, he's all the Giants have. You
put 9 people in the box.
Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. You don't have to deal with any of that.
They can't go put Devontae Smith and AJ Brown 1-on-1. You know what I mean? If he's on the Giants, you can have Malik Neighbors have air guarding him, and you're probably fine.
Yeah. Unless they throw it every single play, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, like you could put everyone in the box to stop Saquon.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eagles are good. I don't like them. Pains me to say it, but they're pretty good.
No, they're good. They're good.
Let's talk about a bad football team.
Yeah.
A really bad football team.
Which one would that be?
The Seattle Seahawks.
The Seattle Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah. They that made me feel good. I was very biased. I really didn't think they were this bad. I just wanted them to be this bad.
I was thinking about you the whole time. He's gonna definitely bring this up.
Yeah, I don't know. Gino got hurt. The Packers are wagging, and Josh Jacobs has something special going when he plays in Seattle.
Yeah, no, last time we talked, I definitely underrated the Packers. Their defense looked incredible. Even when Gino was playing, they were incredible.
That first drive, did you watch the first drive?
I don't remember.
It was 14 plays, 2 passes, touchdown. Josh Jacobs had 12 carries and just walked down the field. I don't know. Their example too.
The great running back on the Raiders.
On a great
he's
team.
Not doing shit. Now
he'll have a couple good boom weeks in fantasy.
And now he's winning them football games pretty much single-handedly.
Yeah, if they had AJ Dillon right now, they would have 8 wins.
Yeah, or Aaron Jones even, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And Aaron Jones has been fine, but
Aaron Jones has been really good, but Josh Jacobs has been insane. He's having a career year. It makes me very happy to see that he's playing well, not on the Raiders. That makes me so happy.
They're a fun. I usually don't like the Packers, but like as a kid, it was Aaron Rodgers and Devontae just killing me. And I kind of like Jordan Love, and I like Josh Jacobs. They're a fun team to watch.
They're very fun to watch. It's just the consistency they've shown over the last 2 decades, just as a franchise, is
unparalleled,
unbelievable. Like you never see that.
How do you go superstar quarterback, superstar quarterback, superstar quarterback?
And like all of them play for you for like 15 years. Like
I would assume Love will. Like
no, I mean I don't see why you'd leave.
He's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he signed an extension either during or right before the season.
Which is not crazy, but crazy.
No. Yeah, at the time it was crazy. I remember it was before the season. So I was like, this guy's played like six,
season.
7 good games, and you're
Yeah,
giving him more money than anybody ever. But if they're gonna, cool. Yeah, we got cut off there. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah. In
we're back.
conclusion, Josh Jacobs stud, Jordan Love stud.
I
Packers look really
Packers
good.
Packers could do something special this year.
Yeah, I agree.
The NFC looks, I don't want to say wide open, but the team to beat is Philly right now, and I think they can beat Philly.
hmm hmm Yeah, and I when I placed that Lions future, I also placed Packers future, cashed out Packers, and now it seems like I might have made the wrong call after this week.
Obviously, Lions have been a wagon, but they just injuries.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
No, it just sucks.
But
Sucks.
this was the Packers' statement win. They hadn't beaten a good team yet.
Yeah. Oh, so they are a good team.
The what you caught me there. You caught me. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe
Maybe
the
not. Maybe
Packers
they
are
still haven't been a good team.
Packers are still searching. I take it back. Nah, Seattle's good, and Seattle at home is a good football team.
Yeah, no. They'll no matter how bad their players are, Seattle at home is always going to be a tough win.
Yeah, they have maybe the biggest home field advantage in the NFL,
They're up there.
and that's a tough game, no matter who's playing quarterback
Very
or
true.
for the Seahawks. But good win for the Packers.
Yeah, yeah. No, they look really good. Cool.
I Let's move on to Chicago, Minnesota.
Mhm.
You picked Minnesota -7. I think that might have been the greatest bet of the year. I didn't put any money on it, but in what world were the Bears ever going to cover?
No. Yeah,
Never.
never.
I don't know. That
Vikings
common sense.
They look so good, and it's weird that I'm about to say this, but like they could seriously win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. They look that good.
They absolutely could. And what happens then? You got to sign him and just trade JJ. I don't even know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What's McCarthy's trade value even? A first? Like
Probably. I
that's
think
all
they
he is at
probably
this
even,
point is a first round pick.
if they won the Super Bowl, I think they'd probably take a second, right? Like I don't know. You'd be losing a little bit of value, but if you find your guy, I mean, the Niners traded Trey Lance for a fourth so fast. He obviously looked
It's
bad.
just
JJ
Sam
hasn't gotten to
Darnold.
play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think if I was them, I would say we did it with Sam Darnold, we can do it with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
Let
fair
Sam
enough.
walk.
This might be more of a testament to Kevin O'Connell being a quarterback
Oh
whisperer.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
he turned Josh Dobbs into
Oh yeah, yeah.
an MVP for a month.
Josh Dobbs looked great there.
Kevin O'Connell knows his way around a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. They're Vikings are a wagon. Not much else to
They
say.
are.
Justin Jefferson is crazy. Addison, they have so many good weapons.
We
Aaron
talked about
Jones
their
looked good
skill
tonight.
positions
Yeah.
and their defense. They got everything that a Super Bowl winning team has, other
Yes.
than you could say maybe like the Pro Bowl All-Star quarterback, but Darnold has been nails.
Darnold's playing
So,
like it. So
yeah,
yeah.
the name value doesn't give you that, but his play has been.
100%. 100%.
And Vikings are scary,
Very. Very, very scary.
but we don't even need to talk about the Bears. Honestly, they did just what I thought they would do. I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Falcons
right
Raiders.
Yeah, I watched the last 2 minutes of this game because I was watching the other one.
Yeah, it was a garbage fest. I saw it was 15-3 with 2:56 left in the fourth quarter. Okay, the Raiders scored a touchdown, and then they ended up getting a 3-and-out and getting the ball back with like a minute left.
Yeah.
And they said that if the Raiders would have won that game, they would have been the first team in NFL history to come back down 13 points with less than 3 minutes on the clock. In that situation, teams are 0-98, and the Raiders got down to the 15-yard line. And that would have been the most Raiders win in the history of the Raiders if they would have wrongly won that game and lost themselves the number one pick.
Yeah. Yep.
But the Falcons suck, man.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't really watch. I can't really speak much on this one. So
Bijan had like 140 yards, but
really,
he probably had 15 fantasy points because he didn't do anything else. He just had
Nothing else.
140 yards. No scores. Drake London had the easiest touchdown of the season, other than Jefferson's last week. The defender got turned around. It was pretty bad.
Huh.
And Young Hoku made from 49, made from 45, and then goes out there and shanks a 40-yarder and ruined my night. So, not literally, but I'm going to drop him now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember last week, I think I said the Raiders were going to win this game on defense purely because of Max Crosby. He didn't play, so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm still right about that.
Yeah. I went out and said that this was my field goal game of the year and that there might be 9 of them. We don't have to look at how it happened. The final score is 15-9. I'm just going to say I was right.
Yeah, that's what, 8 field goals?
It's a lot of field goals.
That's a lot of field goals.
The Raiders got a safety.
Oh, did they?
It was, dude, they got pinned at like the 3-yard line, and then it goes Alexander Mattison, -2-yard rush. Alexander Mattison, -4-yard rush for a safety. Just back to back horrible running plays for a safety.
That's pretty funny.
But it was really funny because so after the safety, you have to do like the free punt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So the Falcons, like they get their punt, whatever, good field position, 3 and out. But so they have another great field position. They pin the Raiders on the 5 again. I was like, has there ever been a team that had back-to-back safeties? Like the Raiders can literally go safety on 2 consecutive plays right now. Like, they didn't. But my mind was working. I was like, only the Raiders.
That is, very, very Raiders.
But yeah, both teams suck. This was not a good day of football.
No, it really wasn't. Got to see at least one good team play out of 4. So
yeah, out of 4. The other 3 suck.
Right on, man.
You want to get into our picks?
Are we doing those right now, or do you want to wait till Thursday?
I mean the recap.
Oh, a little recap action? Yeah, totally.
Talk about how right I am.
Yeah, go for it. I don't have them in front of me, but go for it.
I got them right here with some checks and some X's.
Of course you do.
Oh, I need to add a couple. You get a check for Minnesota and a big fat X for Seattle. My first pick was Bengals Titans over 46.5. That hit with quite easily. Some point in the third quarter. I think it might have been early fourth, but it was never a sweat. When the Titans went up 14-0, I knew that was a lock.
Yeah. I knew the Bengals weren't going to lose.
The Bengals weren't going to lose, and they went up 14-0 in like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. That was a free one. And then you had the next 2. Do you have your sheet, or do you have them?
Let me pull it up here. I don't have it currently. One moment. Yes. So I had so I had Vikings -7 was my first pick. That one smashed easily.
Yeah, great bet. That was bet of the year.
Yeah, I think so. And then my next one was Steelers Eagles under, which again we kind of already touched on that. So
yeah, that definitely hit. I was watching that game and obviously rooting for it to go over so that you would miss, but the Eagles were like in the red zone and I was thinking going to end up kicking a field goal there to be a push for you. And all I could think about is in our episode, you said, I'll take Steelers Eagles under 42.5. And I was like, my phone says 43. I'll give you 43. And you were like, okay. I was like, they're going to kick a field goal and this is going to be a push and I'm going to be pissed. So in a way, it kind of made me feel better that there wasn't a score because I would have won it for you if they kicked a field goal.
Cool.
But good pick.
Thank you. And
then I went Bills +2 wagon. We obviously already talked about that game,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I love that. Bills as an underdog, I'll take it any day of the week.
Hmm.
Lions are sick, but it's fun betting on the MVP.
Definitely, definitely.
And then I went Miami, Houston under 46. That one hit, I want to say with ease. What was the final there? Like 30?
For Miami, Houston, yeah, it was pretty low scoring. 30 sounds right.
32. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one was really never a sweat.
Yeah, and then I did, let's see, Seahawks +3, which sucked. Um, and I had the Miami Houston over. We were on a little head to head there.
Yeah, that was like kind of a double win for me
Another
there.
bummer. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a little 2 point swing for you. Um, and then my player prop, I had Higgins over 65 and a half yards. I do not even know if that hit or not.
It did.
Okay,
He finished with like 80 or 90
sweet.
yards, but he got like a 25-yard catch with like 4 minutes left in the game. I looked, he was at 65 yards on the
Oh,
Bengals last
wow.
drive. You
Wow.
needed like 2 yards and then he caught a big ball.
Yeah, 66 and a half felt low.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
Yeah.
And then I went Josh Allen over half a anytime touchdown, rushing, receiving, and I think he was the first touchdown scorer.
Yeah, I think he ended up with two.
Yeah, I think he'd had two also. I don't know. It's really making me mad. I had a great weekend with our picks, and it was
Yeah.
I didn't throw a dime on any of them, but
Yeah, I know. I feel like we should start doing that. Start putting our money
yeah.
where our mouth is. Especially you went 5-0.
If I put a $10 parlay on that, I probably would have won a couple $100.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but yeah,
Well, so are we
I
both
went
6-4 now?
so I went 5 for 5, and you went 3 for 5.
Yeah. So I think I went 3-2 last week, 3-2 this week, and you went 1-4, 5-0. So we had the same record now.
Yeah,
Oh,
got it all the way back. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, pretty sweet. We know
Yeah,
ball.
yeah. I guess I This was a fun week of football.
Yeah, it was. It was a good one. I'm
There's a
excited
lot of
for. Yeah, I feel like at this point in the season, you don't see as many like actually relevant games usually as we saw this week.
I know, yeah, usually late it feels like there's a lot more teams that are like out of it, but I don't know. I feel like I've never felt like the Super Bowl was more wide open.
Hmm. No,
The
I
Chiefs will
agree.
probably win it, but like I like the Bucks.
No, there's so many teams, especially in the NFC. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I could
I
definitely
like the
see it.
Bucks. I like the Vikings. I like the Packers.
Lions,
Yeah,
Rams, like, yeah, so many good
there's
teams.
everyone.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is gonna be great, great playoffs coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I I think that's a good place to call it.
yeah, sounds good to me, man. It's a pleasure chatting with you.
Rock Talk
Rock
episode 4,
talk.
week 15 recap.
Yeah, yeah, we talked rock. I'm
Follow
Sean.
the TikTok
Yes, follow the TikTok. What is it?
at
The Rock
the Rock
Talk
Talk
podcast.
podcast.
Follow the Instagram at it's the Rock Talk Pod. Um, yeah, just like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and
Like and
subscribe.
subscribe. We
Yeah.
will have our preview out on Friday
Yes, Friday.
for week 16.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go Broncos.
Go Broncos.